welcome to the Switch Show. Hey, welcome back to the Switch Show and Happy New Year's, Happy 2023. It's Malise Chinoyama, still the host of the Switch Show, and you're welcome to yet another year. Welcome to your best year yet, as many of us would like to say, or many of us would like to believe. And yeah, I'm glad to see each and every one of you in this year, or to listen to the reviews that you've got and the attention you give to this podcast and several other things as you journey this year. So having said that, I like to know that everyone, I've seen it all over Twitter, is on Instagram, my WhatsApp contacts, it's all over on Facebook, even on Snapchat for the ones that still use it. Everyone is manifesting, so to say, is saying declarative affirmations that 2023 is their best year yet. Similar to every year since the dawn of mankind, every year has its fair share of up times and down times. And when we get to realize that there is no perfect year, there's always a good year. A good year isn't the absence of troubles. A good year is a good year in the midst of the troubles and all those other stuff. And right off the bat, people who would listen to this, will be like, dude, damn, this guy is pessimistic. Why is he talking about troubles and failures at the beginning of the year? Well, it's quite beautiful to understand that we've got mandates, we've got a resolution, we've got a list of objectives, we've got a ton of things that we want to do going forward in 2023. I think I would like to say that majority of these things, there would be times where we fall short. And if we understand that we fall short, there's never going to be a streak of perfection, a 365-day streak of perfection. That is not possible. There's only consistency, of course, but there are days where you fall short. There are times where things will not just go your way, things will not just seem right, things will not just be okay. And that's why I bring a quite peculiar topic, which is failing forward. And right off the bat, I'm going to get the definitions out of the way. The most important definition here is failing, and failing means a weakness or problem in a person's character, behavior, or ability. To fail means to end without success, to fall short, to not meet expectations. Now that's those are the definitions, just in case you needed some context. Definitions I give out just for contextualization, just to give context. Let's head into the commentary. To the concept of failing forward indicates that there's merely a disadvantage, and I'll come back to that. It means learning from your mistakes and achieving success out of any circumstances. We understand that to get success, we need to redefine success and failure and recognize them as a process. So the very first sentence I said, the concept of failing forward indicates that there is merely a disadvantage. Now, you underline the word merely. I didn't say there isn't a disadvantage, there's merely a disadvantage. The reason why that sentence is structured in the way it is because oftentimes than not, we see that we tend to think that we're at a disadvantage because of our environment, because of politics, because of our present situation. We always see that there is a disadvantage. But if you look around, there are people still in that situation, still in that category of problems, still in that bracket of troubles, that make the most of that situation, make the most of those scenarios. And it seems like these people have a 10th brain, or they have 10 brains, or they just have a knack for success, or you say probably they're lucky, or the stars are aligning in their favor. It's not about stars aligning, it's not about lunar and solar alignment or some constellation stuff, is the fact that they understand that there is merely a disadvantage. You see, even differently abled people make the most of their situations. They go into a situation where things are not built for their person. Things are not adequate, so to say. Things are not convenient for them, but they make the most of their situation. They don't look at themselves and say, oh no, I'm not as physically able as all these people, so I think I'm at a disadvantage. They make the most of every situation that life presents to them. So saying that you are at a disadvantage just makes you unwilling to do something. And that the reason is because a lot of our New Year's resolutions before the 31st of January, we're going to be falling short on a lot of them. If you've made a list of 20 things, you probably won't do about 50% of those things consistently in the first 31 days of the year. It's a promise from me to you. You would not do them consistently. You would not do them according to your expectations. They would never meet your expectations. But what happens when these things don't meet your expectations? Do you stop? Do you quit? Do you say, oh nah, maybe this is not the right year to start this? There are certain things that are meant to be done in 2023. There's certain things that are meant to be done in 2024. That's just crap. Okay, that's crap. From my own standpoint, I'm saying this from a personal experience. I am one that believes in lists. I believe in lists, to-do lists, will-do lists. Some people structure it, modern take on certain things. I believe in lists. That's just the thing. And often than not, I make resolutions, and before midway through the year, I've only done probably like 2, and I'm already downcast. I'm already feeling downtrodden and bad about myself because I couldn't complete simple tasks. But the problem that I have seen over the years is because that I look at myself as being disadvantaged. I look at myself as being a failure. I look at myself as being insufficient. I look at myself that I cannot do something that matters. But the thing about it is that if I looked at my failures back then in the past and say, okay, I failed, what was I doing wrong and how can I do it better? Then I would see that there are certain things that I could have changed in my life. There are certain decisions that I could have avoided. There are certain thought processes that I would have secluded out of my mind. There's some things that would have totally been avoidable, but because I tag myself as a failure, I keep on making these mistakes repeatedly. I make these mistakes repeatedly, and this is not something that is peculiar to me. It's something that is common, more common than it is rare. It happens to literally everybody, the 8 billion people on this planet. It happens to each and every single one of us that breathes this God-given air. And I would like to take into consideration my faith as a Christian. It's an obligation. I want to say it's an obligation, but in a relationship, when you have a relationship with God, saying something like that as an obligation makes it look like a job. And most times when you look at things like a job, you get bored. But in my relationship with Jesus, I have come to know that I should follow him even when there are setbacks. There are times where there will be inconveniences. I might want to read my Bible, and I don't have my hard-covered Bible, my paperback Bible, and my phone is down, and I do not read my Bible for a full 24 hours, and I get back home, probably pop open my YouVersion Bible app. I'm one that loves streaks. Streaks are like a challenge for me. And I open my YouVersion Bible app, and I see that I've lost my streak of about 6 months. Believe me, I would be very depressed. But the thing is that is just a setback. That was a difficult circumstance for me. Some people don't really think about it, be like, it's no big deal. But looking at someone like me that loves streaks, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person. I'll feel depressed and be like, damn, I don't think I should read my Bible again. But that's something that shouldn't even come out of my mouth, because for me to establish a relationship with something that I love, or with someone that I love, even when I experience setbacks, even when I experience failures, I should be able to look at it, analyze the problems, and say, you know what, I may have made a mistake here, and I have made a mistake here, and I definitely messed up here, but this is something that can be worked on. It's not irreversible. It's something that I can work on and avoid it in the coming future. A crucial part of failing forward is the thought process that succeeds every failed attempt. So if you're the kind of person that dwells on these setbacks as being a failure, your thought process, affects every single thing that you do moving on from there. I once did a podcast episode talking about little steps. Little steps don't only mean performative actions. The thought process that you have, the things that are in your mind, are also the little steps, because it's your thought process that fuels your performative actions. Okay, so a crucial part of failing forward is the thought process that succeeds every failed attempt. And while pondering upon this topic, while preparing this topic, I was talking to my friend it was just right off the bat, and I was talking to my friend. Her name is Faith, and I said something about thinking, and I was like, nah, I don't think. And she made this quote, and it perfectly aligns with the thought process thing. It says, a man that fails to think fails to be a man. And before you come at me, the feminist and everything, I'm not just talking about men. A man that fails to think fails to be a man. A woman that fails to think fails to be a woman. Because most times, more often than not, our brain shuts off when we fail, and a million thoughts start running through our heads, and we just completely stop. It becomes a moment of darkness. We don't have any iota of optimism left in us. It becomes gloom, it becomes dark. So as much as this is sounding like a charge, or it's sounding like I'm some boss, or it's sounding like I've mastered the ability of failing forward, it's far from that. I am human, just like every person that would listen to this, just like every single member of my audience. I'm human, and there are times where even the thought of failing forward doesn't come. Even when it comes around, I'm like, who? Failing what? Nah. You don't deserve to come here. But the thing is, it's a practice, it's a process. Failure and success are processes in fulfillment. I don't want to really go deep into fulfillment and success. People have their various ideas, but fulfillment, once you're fulfilled, it means that you've succeeded. But often than not, success doesn't equal fulfillment. Success and failure are processes that lead to the larger goal, which is fulfillment of life's purpose. So that's basically it. As much as you want to have a beautiful start or a perfect start in 2023, you've got to know that there are times of failures, there are times of setbacks, but you've got to pick your head up. You've got to look forward. Turn your failures into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, and watch how you would bloom in 2023. Have a beautiful year, and may all of your resolutions be achieved, as long as you don't think of yourself as a failure. You're not a failure. You're made for more, and you are more. I'll see you on the next one. God bless you.